All right, there will be blood on your hands if you don't act. That is the message to lawmakers yesterday from families who have lost loved ones at the hands of illegal immigrants.
Do your job, protect the people. We're here, we need protection. We're running around out here like lambs in the Serengeti. Lions and everybody's trying to take advantage of us. All we have is you guys to help us. We need you to let law enforcement do their job so we can walk the streets. My son thought he could walk down the street without being murdered. You wake up thinking about it, you go to bed. your whole life is just living the past, and you just can't move on. And to see the politicians act like it's just part of, the circle of life to be shot dead in the street, that's just unacceptable.
Well, today the House votes on 2 immigration bills, and our next guest says these laws are crucial to making America safer. Here to explain is former Trump Hispanic Advisory Council member and Fox News contributor, Mr. Steve Cortes. Hey, Steve, good to see you.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for coming. So as a Hispanic, and you are a Trump supporter, why is this so important?
Well, first of all, it's important for all Americans. I even hate the term sanctuary cities, because sanctuary for whom? It's not sanctuary for the cops who have to deal with these dangerous people. It's certainly not sanctuary for the victims, for people like Jamil Shaw, who we just saw, for his son, who was a young, promising football star. But I'd also say this as an Hispanic. Most of the time, these dangerous illegals, look, you shouldn't be here in the first place. If you're not supposed to be here, if you're an illegal immigrant, and on top of that, you commit a crime, you need to be gone yesterday.
Yet the House will pass it, and the Senate could be stuck with it. How do you explain that?
Well, Brian, I would say this. Political correctness, sometimes it's not just dumb, it can be deadly. Mm-hmm. And regarding Hispanics, by the way, very often the victims of these dangerous illegal aliens are Hispanics, because those are the communities in which they reside. So we all know about Kate Steinle, who was killed in San Francisco, an awful and very well publicized case. A less publicized case happened in Los Angeles, where Sandra Duran, who was killed by an illegal immigrant who was deported 5 times. So there you had a Hispanic, legal American citizen killed by somebody who shouldn't have been here in the first place. These are preventable crimes, and I give the president so much credit that he's putting America first, and he's saying political correctness, enough. We're not going to cater to a leftist lobby that wants to claim people like, I live in Chicago, people like Mayor Rahm Emanuel. Chicago, unfortunately, is practically the Wild West. It's so dangerous. And yet, what's he concerned with? He's concerned with protecting dangerous illegals.
And they're broke, and they're spending all this money making sure illegals get proper, proper protection, proper schooling, everything on down, which is not fair to the citizens there. Real quick, a lot of people say, on percentage, illegal immigrants are not committing that much crime. This is grandstanding.
No, listen, and by the way, that is true. And I'm not remotely castigating immigrants. I'm the son of an immigrant. All of us, if we're not Native American, are immigrants. So we love immigration. But I think it's an affront, by the way, to immigrants who do it the right way. It's a hard process to become an American. It's expensive. It's time consuming. People like my father who do it the right way, it's disrespectful to them to say you can then hop the line and cheat the system and get in front of them.
The message to Americans, though, and I don't think the Democrats have grasped this, many people went to the polls to vote for Donald Trump because of this policy, because the message it's sending to hardworking Americans is, if you're a criminal, you're here illegally, you have sanctuary, you have more rights than the people who are paying taxes.
It's almost obscene, isn't it, Ainsley, to think about that. And I will tell you that, somebody who worked very hard on the Trump campaign, when I would go to rallies, when I would meet people, regular working Americans, this issue got them more fired up than almost anything else I could think of. Number one, it's about their safety, but also national security policy, having a porous border, which we had previously. The president's already securing our border, which is amazing, just months into his tenure. And also the economic policy of why should they have to compete in the labor market against illegal immigrants who are almost always willing to work for lower wages because of their status. So for economic reasons, national security reasons, crime reasons, we are going to get control. We are already getting control of our immigration system.
Steve Cortes, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Great to see you.